Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. So unfortunately for me, I'm a little bit under the weather. I caught another cold or something this week and I just haven't been feeling good. But I wanted to try to just get this little intro filmed, and I've got plenty of footage ready to go for you. We got plenty of shaper footage on working on the tool head, putting it back together and getting it ready to bolt back onto the machine, so that we can start making our test cut. So we're getting really close. So it's going to be a two-part SNS this week, and both of them are going to be getting that tool head back together. So I hope you guys enjoy, okay? I've got one new acquisition in the shop that I picked up last weekend, something that I wanted to show you. So I'm going to take the camera over there and share that with you, because it's something that you'll be seeing in the shop right here. And I have one more thing that had come in that I've been wanting to share, so we'll get to that right now. But I hope you guys enjoy. I got a lot of good footage coming to you real soon. I've got some projects lined up to do in the shaper, and I got some other projects as well. I have not forgot about the Everlast welders. I have a project ready and waiting for that. I'm just trying to get the shaper done so that I can focus on just that next project. Okay, so we got some more stuff coming for you. Okay. I wanted to give a thanks to my viewer John Forsman from Deburring, Washington, Acme Metal Designs. He sent a box full of these measuring tools right here, and some really nice stuff. I want to share that one last. This is a flange mic, a Starrett flange mic right there. This mic, 0 to 1 inch, in really good shape. And we got a Starrett back plunge, Starrett 196 back plunge indicator set. The indicator is bad. That would need to be repaired, but a full kit, everything is there. And a Shure Tomiko depth mic, Shure Tomiko inside mic, and this is man, those hooks. This one is like brand new, man. It doesn't look like it's ever been used. All the pieces just look brand new. And we got that. And then this is a Starrett inside mic set that's also in excellent condition. Look at that. Look at that mic. All the pieces are there. Nice classic set right there. And then this guy right here is probably my favorite out of the bunch. So this is a Starrett 1 to 2 inch micrometer, and it's got the standard in there too, a 1 inch standard. So this is a number 1212, number 1212. This is a stainless steel micrometer, and it too looks like it's never been used before. Just looks brand new, and it's got a good feel to it. And what I like about this is, let me pull something out and show you. A lot of the times you see me use this mic right here. This was Dad's and Granddad's. This is the same model basically. This is the 1230, but it's 0 to 1 inch stainless steel, so it's like a match for this micrometer right here. So I really like that. This has a nice polished feel to it, just real smooth from being in the fingers, all those years, where this one still has more of a matte look to it because it hasn't been used before. So very cool. Anyway, John, thank you very much for the tools, and I'll do what I can to put these to use. And whatever I end up not needing, these will end up going to somebody that can use them. Okay, thank you. So these guys right here are the new tool acquisition for the shop. These are the Stanley Vidmar brand, and I was doing some Craigslist searching last week here on my local Craigslist, and I happened to stumble across this ad. And the guy had 4 of them, but he had already sold 2 of them by the time I had contacted him, and I went and picked them up. And they're in real good shape. These have they have a lock on the side there. You pull it with your finger and then pull the drawers out. So I haven't cleaned them yet. I just put them in here because when I brought them home, it was raining like crap, and they got soaking wet. So I brought them in here, and I was going to let them dry. So they lock out too. So when you go to push them in, if you're all the way out, you just lift the latch there. So this is some stuff that I've been looking out for the shop for a while, like a Lista, Vidmar, a Quipto for tooling storage. You know, for instance, I showed you guys these pin gauges last week, you know, that I bought from Jack, and a lot of these, the other 4 sets, oh God, those are heavy. These don't have a, you know, a closable lid on it, so I wanted a cabinet like this that I could put these pin gauges in, as well as some other tooling storage as well. I want to be able to take some of that milling tooling that I have for the K&T and put it away where it's not just sitting out everywhere over here like it always is. So I was real happy to find these cabinets right here, and I just think they're in good shape. And what I plan to do with them really is to stack them on top of each other, and that'll make them 62 inches tall, and I think that'll be just fine. That way it's not taking up so much wall space, and then have some fresh tooling storage here. I don't have any of the dividers. They didn't come with any of the dividers, so that stuff can be acquired if I need it, but it's not that critical. But I was just happy to get them, and I think I got them for a real fair price, and I just wanted to share them with you because you'll probably be seeing them here in the shop now. So up next, we're going to go ahead and get this gib cleaned up. So the gib is the part that takes up the slack between the tool slide and the tool head. You see that it's angled, it's tapered is what it is, and this side right here is the only side that actually gets the movement. This other side, it only moves whenever you have to adjust the gib to take up any slack. So this is the sliding side right here. So we've got some dents right there where the screw has kind of like rolled it over. You have a screw on each side there. That's how you adjust it. You either loosen one and tighten it, or vice versa there. So we're going to dress the ends, and then we're going to go over to the lapping plate and give it a nice polish. Okay, I'm going to give it a little bit of a hand file just right there on that edge first before we buff it. Just to kind of remove that rolled edge. I don't want to go to the sander and remove a bunch of metal. Alright, that's the majority of it. It's just that one side there. This side right here has got a little bit of a rolled edge right on the corner. So this is a good candidate for the Scotch-Brite wheel. Doesn't take much to knock that edge off there. You can see a little bit of wear right there in that dark spot. All right, not bad. I'm going to keep working it on this. This is 220 right here. I'm going to keep working that and getting it polished in. This gib was not scraped. This thing was, I can tell that it was ground, most likely on a surface grinder. All the sides were cut on a surface grinder. My gloves are working much better at doing this, by the way. Giving me a little bit of grip. And I'm not sanding my fingertips off.
Look at that. It's looking good. Alright, I just started doing the other side. There's our rub side right there. This is our static side. And those little dings that were on the end from the screws. Coming out real nice doing it this way. Flatten it right on out. Yep. Alright, moving right on down the line. I'm going to go ahead and get this the tool head dressed like I did the clapper with the, I'm going to be using my hand files, and we're going to come in here and around these edges. And I want to put a radius around this edge where all those nicks and dings are. We'll do that on both sides to try to make it look uniform. And then we'll do some stoning up on these surfaces here. This is where the tool slides across, and the gib is on, let's see, gib is on this side right here. Okay, I believe so. No, I'm sorry, it was on this side. All right, but we'll stone this and see, if we can get our flat surface back. But until then, I'm going to start working these corners right here. Doesn't take a lot of time. It comes right on down. All right, just like that. Now that's a pretty good ding right there, so I don't think I'm gonna radius that much to get that out of there, but it's gonna look real nice once we get through with it there. Go over it with this file right here, this magic cut, and then we'll go over it with our fine file and really kind of smooth out the cuts there like this. Alright, and then of course we'll do our polishing and stuff too. So we're going to keep doing that. I don't want to keep boring you with the hand filing work though, so I'll bring you back when we start stoning this. I got both side radius nice, and I was just checking this out here. So this is where the tool slide lock goes right there. It just slips in that hole and then it pushes against the side of the slide. So we're going to, and then you got all your hammer marks right here on this face. Alright, I'm doing that. I'm not feeling any dings or high spots. So this side's not bad. It's just this side right here. Alright, we're going to use my Norton Giant India Stone. I just gave it a clean, squirt it down with WD-40 and rub it in real good and just kind of wipe it off and dry it. Did both sides there. Alright, so I want to start with the coarse side and just give it a little rub and see what we see there. I got a little bit of oil or something on it still. All I'm doing with this stone now is trying to remove any high spots in the surface, you know, from galling, scratching, because this is a sliding surface, so I can see a little bit right there. I just want to remove the peaks and try to create a uniform flat area on this thing. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. I'm going to come over to this side right here and see what this side looks like. Alright, we got some rubbing more on the ends. Let's see, you've got some on the side and right here. All right. Got this stone here, and I'm coming up inside this dovetail and doing the same thing there. Basically, I'm just giving it a nice rub with the stone, with removing any high spots that's in there. And I just realized on this end, they've actually got a little bit of a groove cut in the very top right there, and that's where you can put some oil. You can just drop some oil right there, and it'll work its way down in the dovetail there. Same thing with these grooves here. These are just oil grooves, and you just dab a little oil on the top. Just do that every day. You know, I wasn't aware of that before, but now I know where all the oiling points are. This ball oiler right here is to put oil into the bevel gears inside here. That's where this oil goes. I think they drilled at an angle and it comes through. In this bore right here, there's a hole, so you can oil those bearings inside that housing right there. This is another area that got a lot of hammer marks all over it right there. So I've been going through there with the smooth file and knocking any of the hot spots down, just like that. Keep going around it, smooth out that surface there, and then we're going to take our Scotch-Brite and we're going to start polishing it out, just like that. Okay, I just finished cleaning up the main body of the tool head right here. Got the corners filed and we Scotch-Brited it. So it's looking pretty good. All sides. Cleaned up the faces there. I Scotch-Brited the dovetails and just kind of generally cleaned everything right there. I'll point out a couple things. All right, this button oiler right here goes down into the center bore, and there's actually a hole there on the side, and that's where the oil comes out. And then there's another hole in the bottom, which is, I don't know if you can see it, there's another hole down there. So that ball oiler is going to lubricate. Let me grab it here and show you. So this is the bevel gears that go down the center right there, and you see this groove, and you got a hole there. So that groove lines up with this hole inside this bore here, and then oil will get down to oil this shaft in there. And I don't know if there's bearings or what is in there, but it feels just as smooth as silk. But it oils that, and it's also going to come out down to this hole right here. That's where this other bevel gear goes, and we got it cleaned up too. Cleaned up all the crud and gave it just a little polish there. And this is where this gear is going to go. All right, and then that oil is going to transfer to that one also, and oil that rotating movement right there for that gear. So we still need to fix our key. We got to make a key and then fix it to it, you know, make some pins and pin it in there. It's going to be another job coming up real soon. But I think what I'd like to do now is go ahead and at least get the new nut, the new Acme nut right here, go ahead and get it installed. And I think it would be a pretty uneventful ordeal. I've got just a slight amount of taper on this. So it's actually got a little bit of a slip fit right here on this end, and it's going to go in to right there. All right, so what I'm going to do is get my nylon deadbolt hammer and tap it and see if that gets it on in there, and if it doesn't, then we'll go to the next step. Like I said, pretty uneventful. All right, but it's got an interference fit there. and it's all the way down to the shoulder. So now what we're going to do is try to line up on the hole there for the pin. So we'll take this to the milling machine, center up on that hole, and go down through there and cut it and install a new pin. Okay, we got her set up in the milling machine here, and all I had done is, well, I've got this 2-flute 1/4 inch carbide straight flute end mill, not an end mill, drill bit, I'm sorry. And this is what we're going to use to drill this hole. And got her clamped down using some brass shims underneath the clamp so we don't mess up our surface right there. And then I'm using this self-centering chuck. And what I've done is come down here and very gently found the center of that hole by turning the drill 90 degrees and lining up the flutes with the hole right there. So I believe that's going to be very close to our center, and hopefully that's going to cut it. Now, I had to touch this up because this drill's been abused and it's been chipped and broke. I went over there and put a fresh grind on it using the carbide grinder. So we'll see how it does. And I'm going to be using a 1/4 inch tension pin. I always call them roll pins, but it's actually a split tension pin, and those are always big, so they hopefully it should press down in there. And all that's doing is just setting the nut in place. It's keeping it from moving either direction. Well, it could only come out because there's a shoulder down there, but it's also keeping the nut from rotating in the hole right there. All right, so I'm gonna move the camera because it's right here in the way of the quill. And we'll go ahead and get this hole drilled. Alright, I'm going to have to extend the drill out some. Alright, I think we just made it through there. I'm going to go ahead and extend it out a little bit more and make sure I'm going to stop it there, go underneath there. Yep. All right, on the bottom I can feel the drill coming through the hole there, so I know I'm all the way through. So this is our pin. This is a 1/4 inch split tension pin. Should work really good for what we're going to do right there. We got our nice little plumb hammer. We got a punch to help us out, and I'm going to use these Nipex wrench right here to help me hold it. And hopefully get it started. Looks like it's going to work good. All right, just starting to come through the bottom right there, so it should be good right there. So this is the next part that I need to do a little bit of work on. This is the bevel gear that is actuated whenever the down the power downfeed mechanism is actuated. Okay, so bevel gear, and this is what we found to be wrong whenever we took everything apart. So there's a key that was missing here, so we're going to make the key and we're going to install it. And the factory in the parts breakdown, it just shows a key and it shows 2 pins. So what I'm going to use, I've got some 3/16 key stock right here we'll use to make a key. That's what size that is there. And then we also have a 1/8 diameter tension pin right there that we will use to drive in there and hold the key. So we'll have to cut a piece and go to the mill and drill us 2 1/8 diameter holes, whatever the center distance is right here. I haven't even measured that yet, but I did measure the holes and they got it right on 125 thousandths, 1/8 of an inch. And it looks like our center to center distance, just eyeballing right here, 1 inch. I'll verify that. Let's see. Let's just go like this. No, it looks like it's actually a little bit less. So 125. So it looks like they got around 950. Anyway, I'll verify that, and we will drill our holes, and then we'll have to install the key into this. We'll have to get it in there like so. There it is installed. Get her clamped in or something like that, and then drive our roll pins down through there to hold the key. All right. So that's what we're going to do. I used my little needle files here. Had some burrs down here on this end, so we got rid of our burrs so our key would fit. And I'm ready to get going on this. So I was going to show this. So this is our lead screw, and this is going to go on. This goes on the lead screw like that, and then that key lines up with that. So this should never be spinning on this, and that's what it's probably been doing for who knows how long. But it's supposed to be fixed with that key so that it's always turning with the lead screw there. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and get this key drilled. A relatively simple operation. It's just small, you know, and you have a very small area to hold that key if you want to try to use a parallel. So I thought this would be a good chance to show this. I can't remember if I've showed these before on video or not, but these are Wavy Parallels. Now, if you've never seen these used, this is a really good example of when a wavy parallel is pretty nice tool to have. So I'm going to go with my largest, or the tallest one, which is 1.5 inches. Now I've already squeezed this once before on something that was very, very thin. Okay, but what it does is, instead of one straight parallel down inside there, you can use a wavy parallel in lieu of having 2 parallels, especially if you have, even if you had 1/16 thick parallels, you wouldn't be able to use those to hold this key up there because it would be the same width as the key. You can use a wavy parallel that spans that gap, so we can drop our 1/8 key, I'm sorry, 3/16 key. I said that was 1/8, that's actually 3/16. All right, so there you go. That's going to hold that up, and chances are I can drill that hole right there where it's at, and it's going to, that parallel should move and deflect, and the drill shouldn't bother it. So I've got enough sticking out there that you can use the edge finder so we can find the center of it, and then we'll come off the edge, go down. I took my measurements and got them jotted down, and we'll get the 2 1/8 holes drilled in that. Okay, I'm going to use my edge finder here. And before I start, I decided I'm going to go ahead and just remove the parallel. So we're just going to push it out of the way. And I've got the vise clamped tight enough so that it should not push that key down. We're going to be using this 1/8 diameter drill bit. This is one of my new little stubbies, a split point, and it's a good drill, nice and sharp. I'm going to use the edge, the digital readout up here, and find the center. So we'll find the edge, Alright, I'm going to 0 Y, and we're going to come over to the other side. We're going to find the edge on this side. Alright, and I'm going to come up here, I'm going to hit half, Y, and that's going to bring us right there to the center. I'm just zeroing it out. Alright, now we're going to come to the end. This isn't really necessary, but I'm going to do it since the edge finder's in there. And find the end. We're going to 0 X, and our first one is 1/4 inch from the end, and then the spacing, I did double check it, it's 950 thousandths center to center. Alright, so we just found the edge. We need to add 100 thousandths, which is half the diameter of that. So we're going to go 350 thousandths, and that's to align the end of the key there to the end of the gear. Let's see how it does. Alright, there's our first hole. Now I'm going to go ahead and 0 the digital readout, and we want 950, so we're just going to step it over 950. Boy, it sure is nice not having to hand crank that dial now. Just taking it nice and easy on the start to let the drill try to center itself. And there we have it. Alright, so let's take her out of there. Alright, I just need to do some deburring, and we'll see about getting this thing installed. That little bit of deburring is a perfect use for the little whirligig thing right there on this Noga multi-tool. It's like a little chamfer. Perfect. Alright, there we go. So I took our 1/8 tension pin there, and I scribed 1/4 inch length on both sides, and we're going to cut it using the cutoff wheel, using a little baby bullet, because these copper jaws it has a V made in there on that one side, which is perfect. And hopefully I'll be able to find it when I cut it off. This is some small stuff, man. Yep, there it is right there. It's amazing such a small little part is so critical to the workings of that big G&E shaper. Alright, let's try it one more time. There it is. Luckily they both fell right here where I can grab it with my scriber. Alright, so there we go. I need to do a little deburring on those ends. I'll do that off camera, and then we'll see if we can get them installed. So we're back over here on the Victor, and I'm going to try to use this collet chuck setup to my advantage on installing these keys. We got it chucked up short. We're going to use a center as well. So what we can do is use this to hold our bevel gear. We'll go ahead and slide the key up in there. I'm going to go ahead and support it with a center on the end right there. I'm not going to be hitting it very hard, just some light taps. And I want to drive this roll pin down in there. So this is my setup right here. We're going to be using this. And matter of fact, you know what I need to do I need to put a rag right here just in case I lose one and it falls down. So let me get a rag. Okay. We'll see if we can go ahead and get one started. Look at that. I think that just might work. Go ahead and start the other one. So I'm putting the factory grind down in the hole. And we're using a stare-it punch to drive it in. Alright, so they've got some clearance. Alright, so what we're going to do, now we're going to take it off. Let me go ahead and do that. What I'm thinking we can do is go get my little, I'll just do it right now. I'll get a little C-clamp and put right here, and we'll go ahead and squeeze it on there. I grabbed a couple. We got our little tiny cant twist, and then we got our brownie. I was going to see if we could maybe try the cant twist and see if that'll work. I think it will. Not much to hold on to though. That side's pretty much pushed down, so I need to go in there and we'll get it in a vise, and I'll squeeze this one back closed. All right, I had got my Armstrong clamp a little bit bigger and a little bit more power with the screw right here. So we're gonna, well, actually, no, may not be able to do that. We'll try it. Oh yeah, there it goes. Perfect. Perfect. All right, got that one. Yeah, man. I'll do this side right here. That's it. I got it right there. I need to drive that roll pin. Actually, both of them need to go back down in there a little bit more. But other than that, we got it. We're going to use this jaw right here as like a little anvil. Go ahead and bring it in just a little bit. I'm going to see if I can hold that punch right there. Perfect. All right, I'm happy with some success right here. This is something I've been thinking about for quite a while, and I'm glad to see that key in there. And I'm gonna have to go, I need to go into this key right here on the lead screw and do a little bit of filing. It fits fine down here on this end, just like so, but it is catching a few burrs. It is catching a couple of burrs in there, and I can force it on and it'll slide on, but man, those threads will get you. But anyway, that's how that's going to work right there. So here is the tool head, and this is where it's going to fit right here, just like so. And then there is a spacer that goes in here. Yeah, okay, so we got our spacer that goes right there. And then, so let's go ahead and I'll screw it in there. Now I'm going to leave the spacer out just for video purposes right here so that you can see it. And so this will be the first time trying to go together with that and the key. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just go ahead and that's it right there. Alright, so the spacer will keep the bevel gear from trying to scoot forward there. Alright, that's it right there, man. That's got a good fit in that nut too. Okay, now that that gear is finally ready to go and we're ready to put this together, now it's time to go ahead and start on the tool slide, reconditioning. So we're going to do more of the same, do some filing, deburring, and polishing, and get this thing spiffied up. So this is going to be next, and I hope to start putting all this stuff back together real soon.